Okay, good evening. This is the January 8th, 2026 meeting of the Affordable Housing Trust. In the room is Paul Armstrong and Jean Landis Norman. Online, we have Eric Crone. Sheila Vaughn was unable to attend tonight.
Yep.
And as you know, Nick has been away on military service. He expects to be able to join us in February.
Okay.
Okay.
My camera is not working on my laptop, but I'm sure you guys don't care.
I just thought maybe your hair wasn't good tonight.
Well, there's that too.
All right, so this meeting is being recorded by the local scene. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of this meeting should notify the chair at this time. Seeing no one else online at this time, no one else in the room, we'll proceed with the agenda. The first item is approve the minutes of October 2nd. That was our last meeting. I trust you've both read them cover to cover.
Yeah.
Come on,
What are
Paul.
you looking at me? They're wonderful.
All right, so
I'll make a motion.
you'll make a motion to approve as presented. Eric, what about you?
I will second.
All right, is there any discussion?
Nope.
All right, we have to do a vote.
Paul, I.
Jean, I.
Eric, I.
All right, 3-0. When I'm quiet, Eric, it's because I'm taking the minutes also.
Oh, it's okay.
All right, just so you know why. There's no.
Yep, no, I can see you, so I know what you're doing.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Let's sit up straight.
I guess he's got all those hand signals, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Planning board activity regarding housing. I am personally not aware of any planning board activity regarding housing. Either of you gentlemen?
No.
Okay.
Uh,
Paul?
there was a filing that just got filed with the planning board
Okay.
for a parcel that's off of Autumn Avenue up in Indian Pond Estates. I think it just got filed,
Okay.
for like 5 lots.
Did you say Autumn Avenue?
Not Autumn Avenue. No, what's the other one up there that loops around? Not Autumn Avenue. Wait a minute, I have to look at the map.
There's Country
No.
Club Way. Is it off of that?
It's not the latest section, no.
No.
It's off
Okay.
of the Forest Street.
What is it?
Forest Street. Or they know they just
Florida?
off of Forest.
Oh,
Street.
Forest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that in the old part or the new part?
That's in the
the old
middle.
one.
It's in the middle part.
Oh, I
Second
see it. Yeah, I just pulled it up. I see it. Is it
I'm
just
not
like-
sure. She just talked about it. I happened to be here this morning for a few minutes and she
Okay.
talked about it. I don't know the particulars of it,
5
but
lots.
there was I think it's 5 lots.
Okay. And
Right.
where would it come? Has to go in between houses.
Yeah. I'd rather not get real specific
Okay.
because
Okay.
I think it might be a very creative one, but
Okay. All right.
it's on an existing house lot.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And but unfortunately, if it's 5, it doesn't meet our threshold for if you have 6
Affordable
or
unit.
more, you have to
Yeah.
affordable unit.
Yeah. I would think they'd want to limit it. Yeah.
And that's something maybe in the future we might think about if in fact they set a threshold of 6 or more,
Mm-hmm.
so that I've seen several that are 5.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe in a long-term look, you might say, well, rather than have that happen, maybe have the language be a little different as far as a contribution starting early on, or a
Mhm.
percentage of contribution or something. If in fact you want to stimulate it and have money either on the fund or some way to, or if on the other hand, if you're gonna do that, maybe grant more density or more bonus or something to
Mhm.
trade it off. it's a long-term thing, but I just think in
Mhm.
fact, it continues to be something that the town is comfortable with. It may need to have a little tweaking.
Have you talked to Val about it at all?
Not really, she mentioned it, but I haven't talked to her about it at all. And specifically,
Okay.
but I just remember in the past that
We'd run into this, huh?
run into the fact where they'll just say, well, I can do 6, but I gotta do 1, it's gonna cost me more money than getting the extra one. And I'm not sure whether or not there's enough bonus in there to say, okay, so depending on how you figure the density, maybe you have to say, okay, you can get 7, so you can do 1 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know how they figure it's gonna cost them more. They're still gonna,
How it's what?
how it's gonna cost them more. They're still
Well, they gotta
gonna,
build the house, they gotta make all the utilities, they gotta have enough for the house. I mean, you can divide up a lot,
yeah, I know,
but then you still gotta build the house.
yeah, but they
And it-
build it cheaper.
You gotta build and sell it for 360 or 380. So you gotta
Yeah.
build a house, kind
Yeah.
of looks like the rest of them, and then build it for less than it costs.
Right,
So the only way to do that is have a couple extra lots to cover that.
yeah,
You know,
okay.
Just a thought.
It's a game. No matter how you write the bylaw.
Yes, it's just like anything else.
Yeah, it's a game.
No different.
All right, so anything else that's in the wings?
Not that I know.
Okay,
I heard a rumor that maybe, it's just a rumor, I heard that maybe that Wingate had a special permit issued years ago that didn't have a sunset clause on it,
Mhm.
because they just go on. That they may be coming back, they had the ability to put some extra senior housing up there in
Mhm.
Wingate, that they may be talking about trying to do something with that, but I haven't seen anything about it, just a whisper in the wind.
Okay.
But Paul, was that I thought I heard something about that too. I'm trying to remember who I heard it from. Maybe it was you. I don't know. But
No, but
is
go
it
ahead.
what I thought I heard was that it wasn't going to change the number of beds that are there. Is that
The plan that it was there originally, and then
Uh-huh.
they changed it around. Originally, they had way back, they had just the nursing home and the beds and all that stuff. And then they came back and got an approved plan years ago, 20 years ago anyways. Maybe it was on the planning board at the time, so mid-80s.
Mhm.
To do those, what they did, they also at one time did a 40B or affordable housing, just 20 unit to drive in on the left-hand side.
Right,
But they had more land around that, on that left-hand side, it swings around, and they also had some land across the street.
Mhm.
And they'd come in and done a plan where they said, okay, we won't use the land across the street because it's right next to the river. And we'll put some, it was kind of like townhouses or something
Mhm.
on this side. So they had a transition. You could come into Wingate and be like you're at Arbor Hills,
Right,
and then you can move over to the assisted living, and
right,
then you can move over to the nursing home.
right. Which is
So,
what a lot of seniors are looking for.
yeah.
They
So I mean,
want. Yeah.
I think it'd be well received.
Mhm.
It just wasn't, I guess it wasn't financially viable up to
At the time, yeah,
at that time. So
yeah, yeah.
I think maybe they're looking at that. I haven't seen any information on it, just a whisper in the wind.
Well, there's more of us aging, so.
Yeah, we hope we keep on doing it, right?
We do. All right, and as far as I know with the ZBA, what's his name?
They're back, because they're back before the ZBA, the
They're continuing.
Cushman thing.
Yes, they're continuing to present information to the ZBA. We're talking about behind Copper Beach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to proceed before, even though ZBA goes, well, there's no water. And they said, well, now there is water, so. As far as I know, they're still plugging along on that. I don't think anything's, near approval,
Yeah,
but as far as I know, that's still viable. And I've also recently talked with our Conscom. They've put in for a grant for purchase of some of the land there on Maple. The large,
okay,
yeah.
right where the river goes through.
Yeah, I guess the owners of the property had hired someone and he was supposed to get back to them within a certain time frame, hadn't completed everything, had asked for an extension. Um, it was still somewhat up in the air, and they were wondering if affordable housing was at all interested in going in with them to purchase the property. And I said, well, once you come up with something a little more concrete, then
Yeah, I
come
mean,
see us.
yeah, I've seen plans on that for the last 10 years,
I know.
but in my own humble opinion, they wanted too much money for, it just didn't work. It didn't,
Right.
numbers didn't crunch.
Right. Yeah. And the numbers didn't work.
And so,
And I guess there's a building back there that they're either living in or planning on living in, the owners of the property.
they might have room of control also. They might have made an apartment in the commercial building out back.
Oh,
An office space.
but
That
yeah,
might
it
have-
wasn't supposed to
might
be
have-
anything.
Might, yeah, yeah. But since I'm not on the clock anymore.
That's right. That's right. Well, there's rumors. There's rumors.
Yeah, so there was, I wouldn't say that, been a long time, but they did have offices in there
Yeah.
that might have
Yeah.
had a shower.
Something might have happened.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
it
So
was in a separate building, and if anybody's living there, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were living upstairs.
there's, yeah.
Out of the warehouse. In the office.
So if you remember, not too long ago, we had Jason DeRoche come in to talk to us about the housing production plan. He's been hired by the town, of course, to work on the housing production plan, and we had a meeting with him, and we gave him our thoughts on what was needed in town, and he's continued. Remember, he said he had done a townwide survey and had gotten
Yeah.
some results in on that. And I know this is repetition for you, Eric, because he did make a presentation to the Board of Selectmen on
Right.
his findings. I was hoping for more, but it was just really a summary of how many responses they got and what type of households responded and that sort of thing. So he was going to work with that, and I think the summary is that key themes emerging from the open-ended responses, including affordability challenges, aging in place, the need for diverse housing types, and community engagement. Residents expressed mixed feelings about development and support for smart infill, balanced with concerns about overdevelopment, infrastructure strain, and loss of small town character. Well, I think the small town character disappeared when we went over
That's the
6,000.
same. I was on the committee I was on
Yeah.
the committee in 1979
Yeah,
about.
same issues, right?
Yeah, nobody wanted anybody to come to
Yeah.
Kingston. There was only 5,000 people.
Yeah, yeah. There was strong support for smaller homes, which we'll talk about in a little bit. 55 plus housing, accessible units, and adaptive reuse. Moderate support for mixed use and townhouses, opposition to large multifamily complexes. Residents value transparency, communication, balance between preservation and progress. Many expressed a need for more education on affordable housing and its community benefits. So I wanted to stop there and see what else we can do to educate the residents on affordable housing and its community benefits. Eric, have you had any thoughts on this?
No, I mean, um, I think the biggest thing is, we always run into the NIMBY thing. But I just remember when Thorndike came forward and he was presenting um his vision for Sacred Heart. Um, and he was just talking about overall housing statistics and how people aren't moving. And one of the problems is, in the past, people were selling, and he showed some pretty interesting statistics during that presentation. I should probably find it because I think there was a lot of useful information in there. If you didn't see it, it's pretty useful. There was quite a bit of information in there about just it used to be, and I forget the numbers, so I'm just making them up here. But like let's say it used to be like a 50% turnover. Now it's like 10% turnover, something along those lines, that people as they're aging, rather than selling and downsizing because there aren't as many opportunities to do so, they're just staying in their homes, making these homes like the home like my house. I have a 4-bedroom colonial. Well, my kids are all in their 20s. I don't really need that much space. We're keeping it because we're continuing to work. And if my kids get older and have kids, for them to have room to stay at. But overall, um, you know, there's a lot of people looking at like ADUs. I have neighbors up the street. They're selling their main house to one of their kids who just got married, and they're moving into the backyard, into the ADU. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of really changing paradigms that I think there's some pushback. People are worried about ADUs. Like, what is this going to turn into? When it's really, just trying to solve this problem where folks aren't selling their homes. The younger generation, they're not finding the homes here. So they're looking elsewhere. A lot of the kids that are graduating college and working and starting families, they're not finding homes. So we need more starter homes. Which ends up being more along the lines of 40B that everybody hates, in terms of trying to make them more affordable. And I remember even Thorndike when he said, well, our affordable units were going to be, I forget the number, it was something like high 600s, for a townhouse.
Yep,
It
yep,
was insane, to think that that's affordable. But so I think there's just a lot of shifting paradigms in terms of what people are doing. And like I said, the ADUs, the 40Bs, they can be a positive, but they have this stigma of being a negative. And
yep. You're
and
right.
we need to find a way to, and people are like, well, we have to fight this. Well, you don't. And we even see it inside of government. So there are
Mhm.
people inside who are fighting against the ADUs.
Oh, we know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we know.
my neighbor who's building an ADU came to me. It's like they're putting me through the ringer, and I was like, I can't really get involved in this.
Who is putting him through the ringer?
I
Board of
don't
Health, Board of Health, maybe?
know.
Within the town?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not going real smoothly, huh?
Well, more work is being done, so they got through it, but it was
Okay.
costing them a fortune. It shouldn't have. They didn't have a ton of money to do this in the first place. They had to do more with the builder. They had to change plans, which they shouldn't have had to. The builder
Mhm.
was saying, this is ridiculous. I haven't seen it this difficult. It wasn't the planning, it wasn't the building department. Just,
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, I know that, the building codes in Massachusetts, they treat those ADUs as, they're a little bit tweaked it a little bit as far as the energy code and stuff,
yeah.
but
Well,
it,
it rhymes with observation.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that was the crap they were getting, and the builder was just beside himself. Um, so, I guess that's my point. And even the builder was like, why are they so against this? So, and
okay,
whether that's
okay,
true or
I'd
not,
love to know because we've done a few and we didn't have anybody that wasn't, I'm not there anymore, but
yeah,
Yeah, I
I,
thought you said they went through pretty easily, Paul.
yeah.
most
Well,
of them, I haven't been there for a few months.
I know. Well, each situation is a little different too, so
right.
it's
Right.
it's
And
hard.
it may have been a misunderstanding on their behalf. I did not get involved in it because I was like,
Good.
I don't want to get involved in it because I said,
Right.
look, I'm your neighbor. I shouldn't be coming down on
Yeah,
somebody.
that's not, yes, yeah, stay
Yeah.
way far away, yeah.
Right.
There were some
Right.
issues, there's been some issues as far as with people as far as size, because the ADU language speaks up to a certain size.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the town language allows them bigger, but there's a lot of calculations that go within it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I would think too, sewer capacity might be an issue, or septic tanks.
yeah, but, yeah,
Yeah.
what they've been doing is add another tank. If the Legion field's big enough, just put
Yeah,
another
just
tank.
have a tank in, but that involves quite a bit of money
Yeah.
too to do that. Well, what I was thinking, and you guys can tell me what you think, if and when we get the housing production plan finalized, I think it would be really important to have a public meeting to explain what it is, and at that time include information on what is affordable housing, what is subsidized housing, what are ADUs, just cover the whole gamut of housing types.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think that would be the appropriate time to go over the new housing production plan.
right.
It would really be great if some of our members of the planning board and the ZBA would attend those meetings. Because there are sometimes documents created in this town that no one ever looks at, which is really frustrating and a waste of taxpayer money if we're going to, put the time and energy into producing these reports and then everyone just pretends they don't exist or never refers to them. So just
Right.
my personal thoughts on that. So I do agree that there's a lot of misunderstanding, but however, I'm not sure the right people would come to a public meeting. Some people have their minds made up and,
I think too that, people that, depending where you are, if you think your property values are gonna be, stuff's
diminished.
gonna happen, or your,
Yeah.
or your quality of life's gonna somehow, because somebody stuck something in the backyard,
Right.
it's not the case, but
Right.
without, maybe after we have a few of them in, you can do some kind of informational thing to say, this is what somebody did, they stick it in the local rag or something to say, then it really works
We don't have a
well.
local rag.
You have something that goes out
Right.
once a month, and maybe they could put something like that, that thing.
Yeah, but what I was thinking is, okay, now our new housing production plan is ready. Have Jason do a presentation. Make sure he covers all the salient points.
I think what I'm trying to say is, I think some of the salient points are that if this kind of thing happens, it's not gonna hurt your quality of life, and it's not gonna hurt your pocketbook.
Right.
And I think that's what it gets
In
down to.
fact,
Nobody,
it adds to our tax
because
base.
as far as people not wanting growth, I was a kid in Rockland, and my
Yeah.
dad was doing a little subdivision, and it was the same stuff.
Yeah,
That's
and
what's back
it's
of us.
everywhere. You hear it everywhere.
It's
It's
the
not
same
just
stuff,
here.
so.
It's everywhere. All right. Let's see what else.
It's funny that when I was in the family business, we built and raised ranches and little capes,
Mhm.
1,000 square feet, anybody could afford them. And then everything had to get bigger and bigger and bigger
Yeah.
and bigger and bigger and bigger.
But did you guys see that article I sent you on smaller homes?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there were some really important
We're
points in
building-
there. That not
Foundation
everybody
size,
sees big ones.
24 by 26, a Garrison Colonial supposedly, but it was,
Yeah.
but we got through, there's a lot you can do if you're efficient, but you're not gonna have a 40-foot living room, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly. So I think there can be a lot said for smaller homes once
And I think,
people
for instance,
understand.
over on Maple Avenue, there's a little one when you first turn into Maple Avenue. It's like less than 600 square feet.
Yeah,
And the lady lived in the house is living in there now
yeah,
and haven't heard a word,
yeah,
and it hasn't affected anybody,
exactly.
but.
It'll affect the homeowner because now their taxes will go up, but that's about it. Eric, did you have any other thoughts on that?
No, not at all.
Okay, so we do have that initial report, somewhat limited.
Yep.
Excuse me. I don't have any updates from the town planner. I did want to remind everyone there are some affordable housing lotteries going on. This one called Alden's Reach in Plymouth. And trying to see what the deadlines on this were. Public info session was in December. Application deadline was January 6th. Well, we missed that one. And then the lottery is on January 15th. So whenever these come in, they get posted on the bulletin board down in the lobby. So for anyone looking at this,
Can I see that?
yeah,
I just want to see who sent it out.
at this program, SCV. I think.
Doesn't always say who it is.
Up at the top.
Oh, yeah. SUV housing.
Yeah. They're probably the company in charge of the lottery, right?
Yeah, this is the kind of thing you say to them. You send a little note to them, say, listen, I don't know where you're doing. Can you let us know what you're doing?
Yeah, SEB Housing Team, SEB Housing
Yeah, that's-
LLC and Needham.
They take care of all that stuff with the develop.
Yeah. All right. The MHP resources, assistance, recent webinars. I did sit in on one. Not trying to figure out how long ago it was. December 3rd. This was on the types of software that they have developed at Mass Housing Partnership that can give you all types of, they have an interactive map. A woman spoke on that. Now, all of their webinars are taped so that if you missed it, you can go and look at it. It's under housing resources on their website. It's not always easy to find what I can see. But it does tell you which towns have affordable housing trusts, has the CPA and the percentage data bank. There's also information on how towns are spending their affordable housing trust money. There's a toolbox. It's in the toolbox on for the map. And I'm trying to see what this, some of my notes are rather cryptic. CPAs that do not report will have. Oh, okay. They were also talking about how important it is that CPAs do their necessary reports, and that I guess they've gotten a little stricter that if they do not report, they may have the withholding of CPA tax stopped. I would imagine we'd get some sort of formal notice to the town before that would happen.
Yeah.
Okay, no comprehensive list of types of housing projects, no requirement to report a trust. CPC Coalition has raw data. Does community reduce fees for affordable housing projects? Tax exemptions for affordable housing. Either of you know anything about that? Do we reduce fees for affordable housing projects
It depends if the zoning board weighs them or not.
Okay. Do they normally routinely?
They haven't lately. They did it at one time, but
At one time?
they
Okay.
haven't had many lately, but
True. Okay.
but even in the regular subdivisions, they haven't. A couple of them they did, a couple of them for 10, 15 years ago.
Okay. They emphasize that they do have technical assistance for trust communities. There was recently an application was due December 22nd. And once again, they talked about how many CPCs automatically transfer all the money in the housing bucket to their affordable housing trust. And we had heard that before, but we haven't figured out the technical aspects of how to make that happen. They also talked about many communities have a free cash transfer to their affordable housing trust. Let me see what this is. Many funded for very small projects. Okay, new bonds and commissions mini front program, Eastern Bank is funded this for very small projects. That opens on January 26th, and it has to be completed in 3 to 6 months. And obviously, we don't have anything that would qualify under that. But there were a couple others. There was a series of 3, but that was the one that I sat in on. But again, there's a lot of information on the Mass Housing website, and they do offer in-person trainings as well. There was one last summer, and I think Nick was thinking about it, but then his plans all got interrupted with his posting overseas. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention again, because it is there for us, and they've been very helpful to us in the past. Okay. Update on all potential housing projects. Of course, we don't know of any right now. I did want to remind us all of the 40Y that Jason mentioned when he was here. I looked into it, and it looks like it's not finalized yet, the 40Y. Because I thought, oh man, this would be really great. We need to, dig into this. But in looking it up, oh, here's the other one. I'm sorry. Excuse me for skipping around here, but there was also an affordable housing lottery for Greystone Village on Charles Drive in Kingston. Where's Charles
Kingston
Drive?
Trailer. Or Kingston Trailer was.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. And again, all those dates have passed. The lottery was on October 20th, so I would assume most of those people selected
Yeah,
have.
they only got 2 or 3 units left.
Yeah, there were 3 units that one was 2 were 3-bedroom, one was a 4-bedroom.
Yeah.
And then there was a homeowners association fee, but it was minimal, $300 a year on that one. Okay. So, excuse me, I was looking for my information on 40Y, because I know I pulled it. You bear with me a second here. Okay, I'm not going to take up any more time, but I did try and look into the 40Y, and I was pretty sure it said that the regulations hadn't been finalized. Either of you know anything on that?
No.
No, okay. All right. I will look for that when I get home. I did want to tell you that they did finally update the SHI online. They hadn't updated that since June of 23. So that's been updated. We look a little better, but nowhere close to 10%. We're currently at 5.18. There were a total of 677 development units, and of which 272 were SHI. So that says the town year-round has 5,251 households or housing units. So we're over the 5%, but barely. So that just means that we're going to continue to be subject to freebie. That's really all that means. I did submit the report on behalf of the Affordable Housing Trust for the annual town report. I did send that out for everybody to take a look at. I also drew up the CPC quarterly report. I combined September and December since there wasn't much activity in either quarter. And I have that ready to go if there's no additions or changes.
Fine.
Eric,
Say that again.
the quarterly report we have to submit to the CPC on our
Yep.
activities. Because there was limited activity in the September and December quarters, I combined that report and I have
Oh,
it
okay.
ready to go.
Yep.
Unless there's any changes that you want made to that.
No, that makes sense to me.
Okay. Okay. So in, excuse me. In looking around on the Mass Housing Partnerships website, I found this item called Housing Stability Monitor. There's 4 editions of the Housing Stability Monitor highlighting eviction and foreclosure data across the state's 351 municipalities. The 5th edition also features a special report on growing homelessness amid elevated eviction filing rates and ongoing shelter capacity concerns. CHD is committed to making this critical data public. Prior editions are available for download, and this edition showcases the latest available housing stability data.
Do we have I can't imagine we have a high eviction rate.
To tell you the truth, I did not pursue this. I just want to.
Actually, you know what? I just found it because I'm looking at the website. I
Okay.
Googled it, and it says 16.59 per 1,000 renter households. It says 15 eviction filings over the last 6 months.
Here in Kingston?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know how accurate this is because I don't even know how many rentals we have.
Yeah, I don't either. It should have that somewhere.
Well, I mean, it does say, so it says the rate is 16.5 per 1,000 renter households, and there were strictly 15 eviction filings. So that would lead me to believe it's a little under 1,000
Right.
rentals, but that seems high. Well, I guess with the apartments in
Yeah.
Kingston.
Yeah, that could be. I mean,
Okay.
just the one at the mall alone might
Yeah, and they
account for
start
much of
spreading
that.
out like the one on Anderson Avenue, there's 20 units there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Start picking at it,
Yeah,
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 and I guess all those apartments at the mall, that adds up, and it probably would make sense that they would have
I
more
don't know if there's
evictions.
I'm not sure if there's even 1,000, but
yeah,
there could
Yeah.
be
yeah,
several hundred, but
yeah.
Yeah, so that would take up that,
so it
so
might
that
only
makes
be
sense.
6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
So
I
to
mean,
say,
there's lots of good resources
yeah,
through Mass Housing Partnership, like the new overlay maps and that sort of thing.
yeah,
So, when I find some time to
I mean,
dig into it.
the
yeah. I mean,
assessment
so I just
assessment
looked
thing
at
happened like
the
that.
Mass Housing Partnership website, and
Mhm.
then it says News 2025 Housing Stability Monitor, and then it had some interactive graphs and charts and maps. So like the map, I just clicked on Kingston, and it gave me that pop up. So there's quite a bit of data in here.
Yeah, there is. There is. There's a lot of data that the state makes available now. I think they're getting better at it.
Yeah,
But you've got to have the time to really dig through it.
right.
And then once you have it, try
And
to
then,
analyze it and evaluate it.
and what do we do? What do we do with that? I mean,
Well,
so,
that's it. I'm not sure,
yeah.
can we compare that to a similar community to see, if it seems high or if it seems normal? And does that mean that we have a population that could really benefit from some sort of financial counseling or other things? It all depends on what kind of housing they're in.
Yeah, so just to give you an idea, Halifax has 51 per 1,000 renters, but they only had 6 evictions. So we had 15 evictions. And then like
Okay.
Plymouth had 72 evictions, but that's a 13.78 per thousand. And then
Right.
like Duxbury is 21.78, but they had 13 evictions. So, they have fewer apartments than or rentals in general
Hmm.
than we do,
Yeah.
but a higher rate. And then if you go to Middleborough, Carver, they're super high. It's like 31 per thousand.
Hmm.
Bridgewater is like 45 per thousand. So I mean, it's down on the South Shore. I would say we're on the lower end.
Hmm.
And then there's
Yeah.
pockets as you get closer to some of the cities, it might be a little bit higher. Boston doesn't look that high. Maybe the
Interesting. Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
interesting.
so they have just so you know, Boston has 3,000 eviction filings, but their rate is 16.77 per thousand. So that's pretty, they probably have a lot of programs to help,
Yeah. Yeah. They
where because they just have the sheer volume of rentals that we don't have.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're pretty similar if you go down the Cape, and along the South Shore, close to or on the shore, but then you go more landlocked and it gets a much higher rate.
Hmm. Yeah. So I would think at that rate for Kingston, it doesn't call out for any type of action
Right.
right now. Um, but it would be interesting to find out basically what the cause is for evictions, whether it's not paying the rent or being
Right.
rowdy or whatever, and how any kind of financial counseling, most of the issues boil down to financial counseling. How do you choose to spend your money
Right.
that you have available to you? And some people want assistance with that, and others say it's my money, I'll do with it what I want. So
I think there might be, depending on what percent of housing you have, that may be getting assistance.
well, that's it. We don't know if these are
And if
assisted.
people are on the edge,
Yeah,
sudden something happens.
right. Yeah. I mean, they could have a crisis that,
Yep.
there's,
And as you would expect, 24 and 25 are skyrocketing for homelessness and emergency shelter. It really skyrocketed towards the end of 23 from like I would say almost doubled
mhm.
from the 22 and 23 timelines.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah. And Plymouth County is higher. Hampton is the highest county in the state. Plymouth is number two. We're pretty high. But we are lower than the Plymouth average, which is 23,
Hmm. Hmm.
per thousand. Hampton
Yeah.
is 25, and obviously it goes down from there. So there's a lot of good data here. But again, like you said, financial counseling, that's going to be a big one. Um, and then I don't know how much this is skewed from the shelters, the migrant shelters. I don't know if that data that probably adds to the homelessness, but I don't know if the evictions would be affected by that.
Yeah,
Maybe
because I don't know of any evictions that they did for for the migrants.
no, you're right because the state was paying it, so
Right.
they wouldn't be evicted. So you're probably right, but that might be affecting the homelessness, um,
Uh-huh. If
because
they
that's
counted that.
yeah, I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I don't know what data they use for that. But I said data is only as good as the source, and
Right.
then what you do with that data, you can manipulate it all kinds of ways depending on how you want to make it look.
Also, and I think depending on the housing or what kind of house, if you have 300 units, you have a whole system set up, somebody's late with their payment, you automatically send them that notice to get them on the clock.
Hmm.
But if
Yeah.
you have two apartments in your house and it's people that you may been there, you may let them go a lot longer than you should, just because you know them. So,
Right.
it depends on the stock, it depends on the customers, it depends
Right.
on a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables,
Yeah.
but
And just so you know, these were eviction filings, not executions. The
evictions,
executions are
okay.
about,
Some
they're
say
about a
some of these
third.
places,
Okay.
you're 2 days late, bang.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
a ticket.
Yeah. But there's nothing here that screams out for action at the moment.
Probably not.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Especially knowing what tools we have to fix it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it would be good for us to track this because this is just a point in time. The municipality is not showing trend. It's just showing the point in time now. So it'd be
Mhm.
interesting to see if this is
Over
updated.
time.
Yeah, so we can see if it's surging or not.
Yeah. Okay, so the other thing I have is the application to the CPC. There's a meeting tonight at 7 where they will review the applications that have been submitted, determine if any of them are deficient. I don't know if they'll give us any time to rectify that, but I submitted the exact same thing I've submitted the last, 5 or 6 years. So hopefully I'll be in and out of that meeting, uh, and they should have what they need. But Eric, are you familiar with any towns that do automatically have the
No,
CPC bucket go right to the Affordable Housing Trust?
no, not at all.
Okay. I bet MHP would know some of the towns and we could find out
Yeah.
the mechanism that they use for that. I know we had approached CPC years ago about doing that, but they didn't feel comfortable
So
just automatically doing that.
we can ask Scott that as well. He's coming from Abington, so I don't know what they did
Mhm.
over there. And before George is gone, we could talk to him because he was down in Fairhaven and he's been in Bridgewater. He's been a few towns, so might ask
Mhm.
him as well.
Okay. All right. Do you want to take that on?
Sure, sure.
Okay. All right. How long is George staying on?
Not long. He's available. He's going to come in a couple hours here, a couple hours there.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right.
But I
Do
have his
we
phone number, so I can reach out to him.
sure. Okay. Do we want to have a meeting in February or do we want to push it off to March? Um,
I
we
I
can
would
always, have one if something comes up.
I would maybe suggest March, but then if something comes up, then we can schedule something sooner.
Okay.
It's up to
Paul, are
you.
you in agreement? Okay. I think that's, if we had something imminent, I would want to
Yeah,
stay on top of it. So March 5th would be the next meeting then?
that sounds good.
Okay. All right. Anything else for the Affordable Housing Trust tonight? Uh, with that calendar for the CPC, the
Yeah.
application review is tonight and the meeting to vote on them is February 5th.
Okay.
Now, Sheila is supposed to be on that CPC committee, and I hope she's going to be there tonight, although it'd be more important to have her there on February 5th.
Right.
But I'll probably, so far I haven't gotten a sense that there's anyone on there strongly opposed. We did have that in the past. Like I had a fight tooth and nail to get our measly little $30,000 or $40,000. But they've reconstituted the committee, and there doesn't seem to be any strong sentiment against that. And I can't think of any current project for humanity, Habitat for Humanity. But I'll see Amy this weekend and I can ask her. Every time I see her, I ask her if there's any update on any property here. They just closed on one in Plymouth. And I
Okay.
thought she said they already had another one identified, maybe in Carver. But I don't think they've identified any place here in Kingston because they would be the only other contestants for the CPC money.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Not for me.
All right, then I need motion.
Motion to adjourn.
All
second.
All right, Paul,
Aye, Paul, aye.
Jean, I.
Eric, I.
Eric, thanks for joining us.
All right, have a good night.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.